Okay, we get it, world. Video is paramount. But what if you're just a small creative business owner who didn't sign up to basically be an influencer for your own business? I think we can all agree that the expectation for business owners has risen over the years with social media taking everybody by storm. And now every small business owner is basically expected to make video, create video, and make it engaging and cool. And that's not an easy thing to do. So please let's normalize that it's not an easy thing to do. And that's exactly why in this video, I am going to be walking you through 3 solid strategies for capturing video for your business. And disclaimer, none of these strategies require you to get in front of the camera and do something that you don't want to do. If you're new here, hi, I'm Liz. I am the head photographer and content strategist here at Essence Presents. I think that we've truly lost touch of what it means to do what we love because there's this whole extra element of social media nowadays, and you can't ignore it. You certainly can't just act like it doesn't exist because it's so heavily predominant in our lives. And I just want to make your life easier as a business owner and help you focus on what you love while also connecting with an audience online, especially if that is a goal for you. So before we get into my 3 solid strategies, I want to point you to a tool that I've created over the course of my 5 years in content marketing and social media managing. It is called the Social Media Content Calendar Bundle, and it's basically 3 options, 3 formats for you to be consistent with content on social media. I give you a Google presentation or slides template. I give you a Google document template and a Google Sheets template as well. And all of these are formatted in different ways based on how you like to work. So I really hope that this tool helps you out, especially after we get into these solid strategies. You might want to just pick up the free download to get your video content rolling on a consistent basis. So my number 1 strategy for producing video as a business owner when you don't know anything about video, you don't really understand what is captivating to people, this is it, okay? Focus on capturing processes, even if it seems boring. So this is the kind of content that comes from your point of view, okay? We're talking days in a life, we're talking how I blank as a blank, right? So if you're a beekeeper, how I collect honey as a full-time beekeeper, how I open the shop as a coffee shop owner, how I prepare orders as a retailer, right? So these of course, are not going to involve you being in front of the screen. Rather, it is basically taking people through your day-to-day. And I know what you're probably thinking. Liz, my process is so boring, it is so stressful, and it's not interesting. I really don't think people are going to be interested in this. And all I have to say to you is you're wrong. Because a lot of people, think about the people that want to actually understand if they want to do something that you're doing. So for instance, say you're in construction. I'm trying to think of one of the things that would be so far for me to hold interest in, like a construction builder or somebody who is on the front lines doing their thing, but like building homes and building architecture, right? That seems very complex to me, but I can imagine that somebody who's in college or in high school wants to understand what that's actually really like. And the beauty of social media and the beauty of this day and age is that we really can access what that is. We can access people's lives, especially if they're willing and open to create content about it. And the reason that this is way less of a to-do is because, again, you're not in front of the camera. You're basically taking your phone to work day, right? Like instead of taking your kid to work day, it's taking your phone to work day. And you're basically going to just videotape everything you do in the instance of using it as like day in the life content or how I blank as a blank business owner. Now, another side to this key point is that say the day in the lives and the how I blank as a blank business owner does not resonate with you. You don't really want to create content like that. What I do recommend, if that is you, just get simply used to picking up your phone on a day-to-day and taking video content of what's going on around you. I know this seems awkward and difficult, but if you were like, oh, this is a nice moment of me just working, right? Maybe prop up your phone on your desk, even if you're just typing away or doing something really random. You might over time build all of this content, and you will one day look back at your camera roll and say, I have the perfect piece of content to create with these pieces that I made when I had no intention, I had no goal of what I was creating with that. This does two things. Number one, it helps you to build a library of content that you can use for different pieces of content, right? You don't have to just throw the content away once you use it. You can use little snippets of the content for one thing and little snippets of the content for something else that is relative, right? So you're building a content library, number one. Number two, you are basically working a muscle, giving yourself muscle memory for creating video content. You're getting yourself used to picking up your phone and filming. And that is huge, even if it doesn't seem like a win or it doesn't seem like it's really doing anything. I promise you, it absolutely is. And this is a very solid strategy for at least just getting yourself used to taking video content. All right, guys, number two, capture the life improvement your product, service, or offering provides. Now, this one is for my people who really want to see a return on investment from creating content, okay? So this is leaning more into a strategy, but one common thing that all business owners can do is create content about the life improvement that their service, product, or offering provides people. What this does is it actually brings people closer to a sale in the sense that if you relate it and you convey this properly, you will allow people to live within the experience that you are in a video, in a graphic, or what have you. If they can relate to the self-improvement or the life improvement that they will experience when they use or experience your product, service, or offering, that's a win. And what might happen is they might really be engaged with your caption, and wherever you lead them in your caption, you might see an influx of people going onto your newsletter or people downloading your free resource. And this is why. It is super powerful to put the perspective into somebody else's experience, right? And that's something that social media is really good at doing. Even YouTube as well, but more so these quick little scenes or these quick little expressions of what it feels like to be in your field and in the experience of whatever you do. It's powerful and impactful because people then feel like they already are utilizing your product or service when they've just been scrolling through. And what it does is it helps them to understand what they would get if they were to invest in you. I want to give you an example of this. Okay, so let's say you are a florist, right? You're a local florist, you have a brick and mortar, and you are wanting to create something like this, right? Instead of creating content that's showing your day-to-day or just like random B-roll, kind of like the last step, but that step is so helpful for my beginners and people who just don't even think to pick up their phone day-to-day. So that one's there for you guys if you need it. But instead of that, think about creating in this way. The purpose of a florist is to serve people who need sympathy and to be there for people who are celebrating, who are wishing somebody well, who are wishing people happiness, decorating, things that are bright, like very much life events that are very positive or will bring positivity to somebody's life. This is a great example, by the way. I'm so happy I chose this. Instead of, again, creating content just about your day-to-day as a florist, what you would do is you would, from your point of view, you can still use the point of view of your hand holding the flowers and going up to a door and handing it to your mom for Mother's Day, or handing it to somebody who's in need of the happiness of the flowers, and to watch their expression just light up, or to watch them smile or cry even. That is what would be so powerful. And that's exactly what this is doing, is touching on the life improvement of your product, service, or offering, okay? Another way of doing this is, say you're a florist, but you focus on weddings or you focus on events. You would do a reel of like setting up the whole event and having the flowers in the frame as the bride and the groom walk in the room for the first time to see what the reception is going to look like, right? Their eyes maybe go straight to the flowers, or they go up to the flowers and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. That is exactly what I'm talking about. As best as you can, I know this is a very tangible example, but as best as you can, think about what the life improvement is of your customer, your target audience, and really try to convey exactly what that would feel like in video content. And again, this does not include you, and you are giving people a reason to engage with you further with this strategy. All right, we've made it to the last strategy here. Hire a videographer one time per month to capture you actually working. So I know what you guys are going to say. Liz, you're plugging in the thing that you do, and that's why this video was created, because you're a videographer, you're a photographer, and obviously you believe that this is a tactic. And yes, that is true. But here's another reason why this is a non-negotiable thing in some circumstances. You can only capture you engaging with your business from the standpoint of something being still, right? If you set up your camera or you propped up your phone to take content of yourself engaging with your work, right? This isn't you going in front of the camera and like talking face to face and not knowing what to say and messing up your words. This is not what the kind of content I'm suggesting you do. I'm suggesting that you're creating more B-roll content, right? The content that you create throughout your day. When you pick up your phone, you're used to it now. You're taking little videos of what it's like to be, in your perspective, your life. But instead of keeping it non-human, what we can do is include you. But I understand the desire to not want to show your face, or just not want to like engage directly with your audience in a video. I totally understand that. But that is why this tip is really valuable. Another very important tip with this last strategy is your videographer doesn't have to be a videographer. It can actually just be somebody on your team who seems very creative, has maybe expressed to you before that they like creating content, or they're good at it, or something like that. It doesn't have to be this like you go out of your way to hire a videographer, right? That's like ideal, but it can absolutely be somebody on your team who's around all the time and enjoys the creation process. They don't need to have experience. It's not an experience thing to just simply videotape you from the perspective of them watching you do what you do and do what you love. So you are technically getting in front of the camera, but you're not doing something you don't want to do, right? That's what I said in the beginning. I was very careful with my words about that, because it's not necessarily that you're not going to be involved. There's a reason we want you involved, okay? I'll get into that after. But you're not doing something you don't want to be doing. You're doing what you love. You're doing your business. If you're a candle maker, you're creating the candles. If you're a screen printer, you're doing all the things. You're like getting the machine ready and prepped and packing orders, right? These are the things that you love. And simply just having somebody as a fly on the wall is a great way to get a more humanistic perspective of you doing your business and of you running your business. Because again, we can always videotape ourselves, but somebody behind the camera is going to have a unique perspective no matter what, even if they are the worst videographer or content creator out there. Now, the reason I say once per month for hiring a videographer and photographer for those who are able to afford it and would be interested in learning more about that is because you can easily, out of 1 hour of a session, you can easily get a month's worth of content where it's not too samey. I don't know the word. Similar. It's not too similar to the other content you're creating, especially if you get this done once a month. You are able to cut up what the videographer got for you into snippets. You can add your own stuff in there. And your audience will not notice that all of this was done in the same day, especially if you're able to change your outfit, be in different areas of your brick and mortar, or maybe do 2 locations. So this is how you get the most bang for your buck when you're working with a photographer or a videographer. But of course, that is not at all necessary. I'm just coming from the perspective of being a photographer and videographer and letting you know that even 1 hour of a session every single month, that would get you so much video content, especially if it's planned out correctly, and especially if you have enough variance within your area that you're working with to give you the most variance in your content creation. All right, guys, so that was my 3 solid strategies for using video to grow your small business, to create more content, especially if you're camera shy. So I hope that this video really helped you out. I want to remind you that I do have a content calendar template bundle all ready for you if you're interested in really streamlining your content creation on social media. That is for you, absolutely. And if you are interested in being more in a one-on-one kind of experience with me, I'm now offering monthly live streams. So content marketing live streams for small businesses. I want to help you out. I understand that a lot of the times we as small business owners, we don't really have the capacity to hire particularly a content marketer or a content specialist. Instead, we just hire a team who does maybe a lot of things, wears many hats. And if you want somebody who's just really hyper-focused into content, into that world, I'm here for you. So I want to let you know that the content marketing live stream for April is happening on Saturday the 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So I will be going live. But again, if you have questions and you're gonna forget to maybe sign on and watch me live and get the answer live, drop your questions below because I wanna get everything planned out and ready for that. So that video is the most impactful and helpful for you to go into later on. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.